Hey, Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. Well, it is so rocking to be back with you. Now, don't worry, I'm doing well. I didn't get out a video yesterday. I tell you, I went out walking and the heat really got to me. You know, I'm very heat sensitive, and we had like a whole week of weather in the 70s, and then it shot up to the 90s. And you know, Psychic Bob, I'm always out and about, and I tell you, I think I got dehydrated. I didn't feel good. So I'm okay now. I stayed in, drank a lot of water, rested. It's Saturday, and Psychic Bob is back with you. That's right. Well, welcome to Saturday. For our new people, by the way, welcome to the newbies. We've had a lot of subscribers this last week. Welcome to Spirit Channel. Just so for you new guys, this is something we do. We have kind of a daily schedule here. And on Saturdays, we do a video called the Saturday Spiritualist Class and Seance. That's right. Usually we teach from the Spiritualist Manual or a book. Right now we're doing the book Sylvia Browne, Mystical Traveler. And so we're going to have a little lesson from that today. And then we're going to gather and have a little seance. Now, I am a trance channel, a trance medium. That means I go into trance. Spirits overshadow me. They take temporary control, and the emphasis is on capital T, temporary. And they bring a message through. So that's what we do here on Saturdays. And so for those of you who have never been to a traditional spiritualist class or seance or spiritualist church, this is a chance to understand kind of what happens in the spiritualist movement. So I'm so glad you're here. Before we get into everything, quick announcement. If you have not done so, pop over to my website and get your free copy of my latest artwork. This is one of my paintings called Purple Dream. And if you like this, you can get a free downloaded copy, print it, frame it, and have a piece of Psychic Bob artwork in your house. I do not charge for this. I do these because, one, I just enjoy art. But two, I like to share art. And I think a lot of people, unfortunately, in the world do not have access to art. Either they don't live near a museum, or if they do, it's one of these paid museums where you have to pay a fee to go in and it's expensive. I'm fortunate. I live in Washington, D.C., so where I live, you know, I have free access to the finest art in the world. And, you know, I like to share art with people. So I am an artist as well as a psychic, and I do artwork. So this is my newest artwork called Purple Dream. You'll see it's got my signature at the bottom. And you can get this over at my website at PsychicBob.com. Just scroll down through the page after you enter the site. You'll see this, and it has instructions how to download it. So if you like art and want to have some art for your house and get free, you can get this downloaded, print it whatever size you want. You know, you don't have to frame it. A lot of people choose to print it out and frame it. That's wonderful. Put it up on your wall or frame it and give it to a friend as a gift. Anyways, today is the last day. This has been up for a week. Tomorrow we will be announcing a new artwork. That's right, so be here tomorrow and I'll show you our new artwork. But for now, go get this Purple Dream at PsychicBob.com. Anyways, guys, let's jump into our class today. Excuse me, I'm drinking a Coke. I'm a little parched. I've been out walking earlier today after doing some readings, and now I'm a little dehydrated, so bear with me. But we're reading Sylvia Browne's book, Mystical Traveler, and then we're in the chapter called Names Written in Gold. And we're starting today on page 69. So if you have this book, you know, you want to follow along. If you don't have it, I'd suggest you get it. It's a short read. It's a really great book. One of Sylvia's best books, I think, Mystical Traveler. You know, a lot of you, I got to say before I get into this, a lot of you have been writing to me and saying, Psychic Bob, I've been studying your class on Mystical Traveler. I think I'm a mystical traveler. Could I be? And chances are, if you think you are, chances are you probably are. Now, a lot of you have been calling for private readings with me, and we've been exploring that in more in depth. And if you want to really get in, you know, to your soul journey, you might want to call me for a private session. Give me a call at my office number, 703-825-3929. I'm taking bookings for this upcoming week still. I think we have a few openings. If we don't, it'll be the next week. I got to check. My assistant hasn't shown me my schedule today. But I think we'll probably get you in this next week. 703, put this in your cell phone, 703-825-3929. Again, my phone number, 703-825-3929. That link will be below. Or you can also write to me at my official email, PsychicBobHickman, that's all one word, PsychicBobHickman @gmail.com. That'll also be below. So If you want to get in depth, private reading, it's a full hour, you and me one-on-one. We cover everything, past, present, future, spirit guides. We look at your life mission, your themes. Are you a mystical traveler? How does that manifest? I helped so many of you in the past, and I've enjoyed it. I want to say thank you to all of you who've invested your time and energy into my readings, and I think we've had good experiences. Anyways, I look forward to hearing from you. Well, let's get into our class here. So we're on page 69, and this is really interesting because Sylvia's talking about otherworldly beings. Let's see what she's got to say. Sylvia writes, "The other day I was asked if we will all ultimately reside on this planet's other side. I answered that most of us will. However, others will choose to go to that of another world. The irony is that in the end of this reincarnation schematic, all of the other sides in existence will come together and become one huge home." Let's just pause there for a second, because this really is a very good point. I get this question sometimes as well. People say, "Psychic Bob, I believe I lived my former life as a Pleiadian." They say, "I know I came from the Pleiades." And when I read, I'll say, yes, I do make a connection there. A lot of times you do. If you feel it inside, you probably know more than I know. So trust that. But the question is, well, when a Pleiadian dies, where do they go? Well, each planetary system has its own other side. So like the people of planet Venus or Mars or the Pleiades star system will go to that unique system that's corresponded to their life experience. So that way, you're not going to show up and suddenly be in a weird situation. The other side is like what you know and are familiar with. So if you're from the planet Venus, you're going to go to the other side, the spirit world of the planet Venus. Now, as Sylvia Browne says, at the end of time, when it's all done, all of the other sides will merge into one spirit world. But for right now, there are different divisions. But this also accounts why a lot of you, and I've been getting a lot of letters, people write and say, "Psychic Bob, I know I'm going out of my body at night, and I'm going into worlds where I'm meeting aliens." Yeah, you're going to the alien spirit world. So nothing wrong with that. Some of us, as she said, have been from other worlds. So don't let that bother you. It's all one ultimately. Okay. Let's continue on. Sylvia writes, "When mystical travelers die, they're often called on to become spirit guides. Many times they're even asked to incarnate on other planets to bring about betterment through teaching or leading. Not so much for their soul's advancement, but to gather data. Now, it's true that all entities can visit other worlds and even live on them, but they're not the data gatherers that mystical travelers are. These advanced souls bring home all this knowledge to share with everyone, and they also infuse it into people who are still alive on Earth." Now, see, isn't that interesting? So those of you who are mystical travelers, who feel like you have a connection also to the aliens, you may find after you leave this earth that you don't just go to heaven, you go to another world and you guide people on another planet. So in a sense, a lot of you, I think, are getting, what I would say, experience now. A lot of you said you're doing astral projecting and you're going out of your bodies and then you're interacting with aliens. Well, that's because you're being prepared for future work. Okay, and that's what Sylvia's saying. You're data gatherers. You're studying, you're learning so that you can continue to be of service. So many people, especially the materialists and the atheists, think that when you die, it's all over. That they got something surprise when they realize that it only just begins. It just begins. So don't let that scare you. You've done it before. You're just back and you've forgotten. All right, let's go on. Sylvia writes, "The mystical travelers who come back from other planets with this knowledge are not considered extraterrestrials. They are ultra-terrestrials." Now hear that? They're not extraterrestrials, they're ultra-terrestrials, which means that they stay in their own spiritual and eternal form, just as all those who reside on the other side do. The term extraterrestrial is reserved for those souls who colonized this planet millions of years ago and visit to see what we humans have done with it in the meantime. Okay, so some of you have written to me and you said, Psychic Bob, I think I'm an extraterrestrial. I don't think I belong to this world. Well, yeah, you belong to this world, but you're an ultra-terrestrial because your previous incarnation, your psychic link, is to the other worlds. But you're an ultra-terrestrial. All right, let's go on. She writes, I often think that they must be very disappointed with how we've destroyed the streams and the oceans, had countless wars, and perpetuated unbelievable horrors on one another. Yet I'm sure they will make themselves more and more known in less than 10 years because the veil between our two worlds is becoming thinner all the time. As it finally disappears altogether, we won't just see the few ghosts that haven't made it back home yet, but we'll also be able to perceive our passed over loved ones, angels, spirit guides, and other advanced spiritual beings, and even the other side itself. Now, wow. Now, let me tell you, this book is very prophetic because Sylvia wrote this, what year did this come out? It's been a few years, but she said it in less than 10 years, and this book is not quite 10 years old. It's just at 10 years old. The veil would become thin. Now, isn't this interesting? Because we have seen such an increase in UFO activity, and every day people write to me, and they say, Dear Psychic Bob, I was a disbeliever in this UFO junk, and now I've seen it, and you psychics might really be telling the truth. Well, we have been telling the truth. Nobody wanted to listen. But the truth is that the other side is trying to make itself known, and the aliens have mastered interdimensional travel, and they understand the journey of the soul far more than we humans do. So it's no wonder we're seeing them. Now, you may remember last year, my annual predictions, I said this year, 2019, is going to be such a year of sightings that by 2020, there's going to be a real starting to open up of this disclosure. And as I predicted, and interestingly, Sylvia has predicted, both of these things are happening. The veil is becoming thinner. Sightings are increasing. Paranormal phenomena is increasing. And as I said, 2019 is going to be a year of super high visible UFO activity. And I tell you, we've seen more this year coming out. Official news outlets, official government agencies are now openly discussing this. And Sylvia said it's going to be within 10 years. This book is just about 10 years old. And there you go, you see. So it's the truth. Anyways, guys, we're going to pause right there. And we're going to have our seance now. So I'm going to settle down. I'm going to get ready. So just stay here and I'll be back with you in just a minute. I got to turn down the lights and get settled in. All right, well, I've brought down the lights and I'm going to settle down and go into a trance state. A trance state is when a medium lets their consciousness be set aside and the spirit world's consciousness overshadows it. And they take temporary control. Now, I just want to emphasize, because I get letters every week saying, oh my God, Psychic Bob got possessed. No, this is not possession. Trance channeling, it's spelled T-R-A-N-C, as in Charlie. Trance channeling is a form of agreement between us and the spirit. It's nothing terrifying and scary. At any time I can come out of trance, they can leave. It's not domination. It's a sharing of energies, and that's important to understand. So I agree to let them use my body. They agree to guard my body, and together we work to bring the truth of spirit. Okay? So that's all that's happening. So if you were here in my house, which in a sense you are, I'd say pull your chairs up. We're going to sit in a circle. We're having a seance circle. So join us, let's gather, and let's see what the spirit world has. I'm going to go under in trance, and I'll see you when I get back. there we go. Looks like we're in the body. Oh, well, greetings to all of you. My name's Fletcher. I'm our medium's principal guide here, and I'll be monitoring things and keeping the spirits moving back and forth. But it's so good to be with all of you. Lots of soul glow out there today, and all of you are looking mighty dandy, might I say. Well, we got a few here who want to be speaking, so I'll be stepping from our medium's body. This is Fletcher. Over and out. Yes, Fletcher, it appears that the vibration is stable. I do hope that all of you out there can hear me. Good afternoon, my name is Alfred. When we of the spirit world come and visit the earth realm, it is a great joy for us to have a vehicle such as this medium that we can speak through. In the spirit world, our voices oscillate at a vibration which is beyond the human hearing range. Occasionally animals can hear it, such as dogs and cats and birds. They can hear our voices, but many humans, when we speak, it as if it is nothing but a whisper of wind passing, and even that is difficult to maintain. When we use a human body, such as we are using with this medium, it allows us to slow our vibration down and to use a physical substance to speak. You might think of his vocal cords as kind of electrical cords, as wires that carry our vibration. Our energy merges with it and takes temporary control. And as we control the vibration of the human body, we can make a more definite impact in the material world. And it is because of this connection now that you are able to hear my voice. If I were to step out of our medium's body, in fact, I shall do that now to demonstrate. I can control the body, but if I'm not close enough, my voice will not be heard. So now I shall step near the body, but not in the body. Let me step backwards. As you can see, when I was not more connected to the body, I could control the physical movement, yet my voice could not be heard, or the vibration was not sufficiently established. It is like an electrical connection. It is not that we necessarily take over the body, it's that we infuse our energy into the body. But for all intents and purposes, it's as if we step into the body and wear it as a mask, if you want a closer analogy of what it's like. I feel my face moving the muscles of this medium's face, or my face and his are merged together. My spirit form operates against his nervous system and controls it, somewhat like a puppet, you might say. We of the spirit world, in a sense, are the puppet masters, at least temporarily, when a medium allows us to use their form to bring our presence through. If you've ever wondered how it is that the spirit exists beyond the body, try to remember your own laws of physics. Matter is neither created nor destroyed, and energy is neither created nor destroyed. This means that matter and energy are interfused. Each exists eternally. They may change their appearance or volume and form, but the substance itself is never destroyed. Your very consciousness is a form of energy. That energy will not be destroyed. For those who are materialists, who say that when the human body ceases to function, there is no life, they might do well to examine the studies of the old spiritualists of the 19th century. During that period, they discovered that the soul has a weight. It's approximately about 4 ounces. And when a human being dies, there can be a discernible and measurable change in the physical weight. And many people have been photographed at the moment of dying, and there you can clearly see light emitting from their body. It is the soul presence gathering and exiting the form. That energy that brings life to the body never ceases. And for those who say that there is no life after death, well, they're missing their own fundamental laws of physics. When I was a young man, I attended Cambridge University in England, and I studied all the Darwinian theory of evolution. Yet it left me quite feeling void and empty, and it was that Darwinian evolution that started me on the path of exploring spiritualism as well as ceremonial magics. Both of them taught me that life is eternal, and I come to you today to remind you that it is not a miracle that I'm here, but simply a law of physics. My consciousness exists and can move about, and in time has learned to take control of other substances, such as this body. In the future, those of you who wish to be guides to people, those of you who are mystical travelers, as our medium calls it, you will have the ability to be a guide and to fuse and merge your energy with others whom you guide and lead. Remember, this is a great privilege of the universe. Do not squander your life and your mind on trivial things, but think upon the higher things, and you will have a glorious experience in the afterlife. Fletcher says our medium's power is a bit weak, and so we shall not stay long. There are others who wish to speak, so I shall step from the body now. My name is Alfred. Oh, there we go. Greetings, my dears. My name is Rose. Oh, it's such a joy to be back with you. You know, when I was listening to Alfred speak, I thought to myself, Alfred reminds me of my dear neighbor. I had a neighbor named Madge who was a spiritualist. And though she was not as, how shall I say, posh and grand as is Alfred, no, she didn't speak in the quite high level of metaphysics that I hear from him. But she used to say to me, Rose, spirit is all about us. Spirit works through all of us. And I used to say, well, I suppose if you believe that, that's fine. My vicar at the Church of England teaches something slightly different. You know, I was a bit of a biddy in my day, and I did not really give much thought to other people's views on things. I was a little staid in my mind that only Church of England mattered. Oh, my dears, I tell you how wrong I was. Over here in the spirit world, they don't give one toss about what religion you are. Your religion is not important. What is important is life in the spirit world, is how have you loved? How have you evolved yourself? Have you been kind to your neighbor? Have you tried to think of good things in your life? You see, there is an old saying, as a man thinketh, so he is. Forgive me, my dears, I know in modern day parlance that's a bit sexist. We could adapt to say, as one thinketh, so one is. That includes women as well. But you see, my dears, it's very true. Your very consciousness doesn't begin when you die. You don't die and suddenly go to heaven. No. You create heaven here on earth, here, now, and by your own choices. If you choose a consciousness that thinks of good things, if you choose a mind that says, I will love today rather than hate, and you raise your vibration, over here in the spirit world, all oscillate to the vibration of love and light. Light is love and love is light. And the more love you have, the brighter your soul will glow. Please, my dears, meditate on these things. They are so very important. You don't become a spirit when you die. You are a spirit now in your own very body. You live eternally. So embrace light, embrace love, and then you shall know truth, the truth from heaven, my dears. Heaven, the spirit world, the pure land, whatever you wish to call it. It's all one location. It is the place of divine dwelling and divine light. Fletcher says our medium's power is still a bit weak. It looks like he's still recovering from the heat of yesterday, and so we will not stay long. But it is our blessing to be here for all of you, and we do thank you. Fletcher, I feel the power starting to wane. The power starting to go, my dears, and I'm starting to go with it. But I send each of you my kind thoughts, and I look forward to being with you. Remember to call me, oh dear, the power's going. My name is Rose. Ah, Tubies, I love the channel. It feels so good. It brings that life force from the spirit world in. If you've enjoyed today's seance, and I hope you have, you might want to pop over to my website at PsychicBob.com. Pick up some of my books. One of my books there, Messages from Rose. It's about my early days as a psychic. Check it out. We also have over there other books such as Psychic Bob's Book of Spells, Psychic Bob's Book of Wiccan Wisdom, Messages from Rose. I got a few others. Anyways, these are the ones on my desk. But check it out, okay? Listen, guys, help me out. Like this video, favorite it, share it with your friends, hit subscribe, be part of our channel. We'd love you to be here. And make sure today to pop over and get your free copy of my latest artwork, Purple Dream, at PsychicBob.com, free for you. And while you're there, call me for a private reading, 703-825-3929. You guys are best. I love you. We'll see you back here tomorrow on Sunday. What are we going to do? I don't know. Maybe, I'm not promising, maybe we'll do a live session. Check back tomorrow. Love you guys. Maybe tomorrow, I don't know, maybe 7 p.m. Eastern time, maybe. What do you think? We'll see you then. I love you guys. Have a good night. Till then, may you all always blessed be.